Hello, I'm Jamie and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you've never been here before. This video is going to be talking about the shows that I will not stop recommending to people. Some are really popular and still there's some people that haven't seen them, but like they should watch them, and some I feel a bit underrated and a bit unknown. So I'm going to split this video into two parts. First part is going to be sitcoms and like comedy shows, and the second part is going to be like crime, detective, drama shows. So yeah, first of all, sitcoms. So the first show is pretty much my favourite show ever made, and that is Parks and Recreation. It was created by Michael Schur, who was involved in The Office, Brooklyn Nine-Nine and The Good Place, so he's got a really good track record. And it follows the lives of people working in the Parks and Recreation department of a town's local government, which sounds a bit boring, but trust me, it is one of the greatest and funniest shows ever made. A lot of GIFs that you will see are from Parks and Rec, so that just shows how funny and iconic it is. What I like about Parks and Rec is that it is very funny, and it has great, relatable yet kind of crazy characters with an excellent plot and really good examples of relationships and friendships. There is not really an example of a toxic relationship in the show, which you kind of see in a lot of other sitcoms, apart from like the obvious ones that are like called out and made fun of, and you know, that sort of thing. The next show is Bob's Burgers, which is an animated comedy about a family who run a burger restaurant. The characters are all insane and lovely. We've got a mum, a dad and 3 kids, and they get up to all sorts of crazy adventures. What I like about this show is it's just such a feel-good show. There's also a lot of really great songs. They do some musical episodes and just have some songs in the middle of some episodes, and they're really good. They're such good like theatre songs really. And the producers have gone on to make Central Park, which actually has Leslie Odom Jr. in, who was in Hamilton. So yeah, really good. And it's also got this kind of like nostalgic feeling. I don't know whether it's because like the 3 of the main characters are kids and they've kind of got like things that you'd get up to when you were kids. It's just really nice like nostalgic feeling. It is also consistently good. I think there's been about like 10 seasons now, and there hasn't really been a dip anywhere. Like obviously some episodes aren't as good as other ones, but there's never been like a down, which you see with like shows like Family Guy. It's kind of gone very downhill since it's first came out. It also has like a mix of like adult jokes, but also they're not like too vulgar or problematic, that kind of jokes that you'd see in like Family Guy and South Park. They're just like funny, and it's like a family show really, but with like slightly adult jokes in it. The next show is a relatively new one. It's called Ghosts, and it's produced by the BBC. It's created by who've been called the Idiot Six. They were the main 6 characters in the TV show for children, Horrible Histories, which I also recommend. You don't need to be a child to watch it. It's absolutely hilarious, and again has some really good songs in it. So the show is about a couple called Alison and Mike who move into an old mansion that Alison inherits. The house turns out to be haunted by ghosts from different eras who are really silly, and only Alison can see them after like an accident she gets into. It's not really a very spoiler, it happens in the first episode. But yeah, it's really good. It's really original. And again, it's kind of got that nostalgic feeling for me because I was such a massive fan of Horrible Histories. And obviously it's got the same characters, it's got kind of like the same comedy style, except more directed at like adults, but it's still really good. The next one is a British cult classic. It is The IT Crowd. It is one of the funniest shows ever made, and it's about a group of 3 employees in the IT department of a massive company, and they all have very unique characteristics. So there's Moss, who is a socially awkward but very intelligent geek, Roy, who is lazy and work shy, and Jen, the head of the department, who knows absolutely nothing about computers. Yeah, so this show is absolutely hilarious. The episode The Work Outing is pretty much known to have one of the greatest funniest climaxes of any show, and oh my god, it's so funny. Like, I just can't explain it. You just need to watch it. It's so good. Next is quite a popular show, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which, if you don't know, it follows a group of friends, or enemies, I don't know if you can call them friends, who run a bar in Philadelphia, and they get into some of the most ridiculous situations I have ever seen in a TV show, basically because they're all like horrible people, really. And it's definitely more of like a dark humour sitcom, so if you're not into that, then probably not your cup of tea, but if you are, I'm sure you've probably already watched it. But again, absolutely hilarious, and all the characters are absolutely insane, and it's got Danny DeVito in, so that's another plus. Next is Derry Girls, which was created on Channel 4. It is set in Derry in Northern Ireland in the 1990s, with 4 Northern Irish schoolgirls and one of their English male cousins as the main cast, and they basically is them navigating teen years at the end of the Troubles in Ireland. And apparently it is Channel 4's most successful comedy since Father Ted, which goes to show how amazing it is, especially because Channel 4 is known to produce really, really good comedies. It has got slightly dark humour in a way, very nostalgic. Obviously I'm not from the 1990s, I was born in 1999, so I haven't experienced it. But like the music, the outfits, just the general vibe of it is really nostalgic, and it's really funny, and it's got an absolutely amazing soundtrack. I've got the Spotify playlist on my phone because it's honestly amazing. The last sitcom comedy show I've got is Borderline, which I'd never heard of until literally like a month ago, and it was recommended to me on Netflix, and I was in a phase of watching like British sitcoms, and I thought I'd give it a go. It sounded like my sort of thing, and honestly it is amazing. It's like The Office mixed with something like Airlines, so it's really good. It follows a group of employees, again, working as border control in an airport, and they make fun of stuff like random spot searches and profiling and just how inept people in Borderline can be. It's a mockumentary, so if you like stuff like The Office and Parks and Rec, then you'll probably really like it. It's quite silly, but the characters are really great. They've all got an interesting dynamic between them. Some of them are just, it's hard to explain, but it's just really good. Definitely watch it. So now moving on to the more crime, detective-y drama shows. First of all is Line of Duty, which is another BBC show, and this is genuinely one of the best detective or crime shows that I believe has ever been made. It's absolutely incredible. It is quite different from other things because instead of investigating like your regular kind of criminals, it investigates corrupt police officers. So there is lots of drama, lots of plot twists, and it's very suspenseful. The episodes are quite like, not slow, but like it's very like just suspenseful. It's really good. It's honestly such worth a watch. One that's related to Line of Duty is Bodyguard, because it's made by the same people, and this follows a war vet who, following an attempted terrorist attack, is assigned to protect the Home Secretary, who is believed to be a target because of some controversial law she's trying to pass. Again, very suspenseful, very intense, and if you like kind of like the conspiracy theory, you're not quite sure who's on the right side, I definitely watch it. It's really good. I think season 2 is coming out soon, I think, so watch it in time for season 2 because honestly you will not regret it. It's so good. Now I've got a couple of like really popular shows that most people have definitely heard of. So first of all is Game of Thrones. Again, yeah, like I said, very popular show. And if you don't know, it's like a fantasy show that follows like 9 like noble royalty families who are trying to win the throne of Westeros, which is like the kingdom. And it's absolutely fantastic. It became famous for its like unforeseeable plot twists and just killing off characters without like any remorse, or like it's not something that you can really predict. The last season is a bit disappointing, most people will agree with that, but it's still definitely worth the watch, especially for like the first like 6 seasons. And if you want a more satisfying ending, I'm pretty sure the books will provide it if they actually get published, because I think it's been like 5 years since the last one came out. like I said, another very popular one is Breaking Bad. I'd only watched this about like a year ago, but oh my god, it is genuinely amazing. It is critically acclaimed. I think it's got like one of the highest like IMDb ratings. So this is follows the story of a chemistry teacher who is diagnosed with lung cancer, and obviously it's in America, so healthcare is very, very expensive. So he turns to producing and making drugs to fund his treatment and to leave money for his family. It's got some of the best cliffhangers in some shows that I've ever seen. There's one time where like it was getting quite late, so like this is like the last episode we're watching, and oh my god, I was so desperate to watch another one, but I had to wait, which, yeah. Related to this is Better Call Saul, which is the prequel to Breaking Bad, and it's still running. I think there's one more season to come out. And this shows how the lawyer in Breaking Bad became involved in the drug business, and both are great in their own ways. I would say Breaking Bad is more like suspenseful, and yeah, and I would say Better Call Saul is more like, if you like law shows like Suits or something like that, then you'd probably like Better Call Saul, because a lot of it is about law and how he goes from being like someone who's trying to be a lawyer to like involved in criminals. It's really, really good. Next is a show called Marcella, and it follows a almost like ex-detective. She returns to the force, but she has a memory, like this medical issue where she basically like blacks out and she can't remember anything, and she believes that she's been involved in the killing of somebody, but she doesn't know for sure, and it's really good. Like I don't want to spoil it, obviously I can't say much without spoiling it, but yeah, she's got this issue where she like blacks out and she becomes violent, but she can never remember what she's done, so she's got to like piece together what she's done and also like piece together the like actual crime. So yeah, really, really good. It's very different, again, very different to other detective shows I've seen. I've never seen anything like this before, and I have watched a lot of detective shows. Next is called The Midwife, which is another BBC show. You can tell I'm a fan of BBC. And it's based on the memoirs of a midwife who worked in the 1950s and 60s. And it's really good at like being informative and also like really entertaining. It tackles a lot of issues that are relevant both in the 1960s and in present day. There's issues about like abortion, like LGBT rights, like disabilities and medicine, like kind of how they're disadvantaged, and how, yeah, it's just really good. There's also a lot of great relationships and friendships, and yeah, it's genuinely just really good. I don't really know how else to describe it. It's about midwives, but it's also really entertaining. So lastly is Whitechapel, which again I feel is kind of like an underrated detective show. So it's a set in London, and it's a detective and like the rest of his police force like dealing with crimes that are like copycats or just very familiar to like actual like historical crimes. So the first killer is Jack the Ripper, who's a copycat. They've got like the Cray twins. It's really good. It's again something I've never seen before. Like I've seen bits where it's like you have copycat killers, but like the whole show is about like people copying historical crimes, or like got elements of like demonic things in it. But yeah, really, really good. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I've only given you like a little idea of what these shows are about, because again I don't want to spoil it. So yeah, if you enjoyed, please recommend shows to me in the comments if you want, because I'm always up for new shows to watch. And yeah, like the video, subscribe if you want to, it'd be greatly appreciated. So yeah, thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.